Hello everyone, Storm 11 here. Today we'll be having another update on Hurricane Ida that'll be bringing in catastrophic impacts across parts of southeast Louisiana into parts of southern Mississippi. Lots of rain, high storm surge would be pretty bad as well. Tornadoes will also be possible as well, and also again heavy rainfall and some very strong winds out of the storm as well. Will bring in across parts of southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. So we're going to get started with the main outlook here. So the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and there's a lot of stuff going on out there than Ida. We got Invest, I believe that's 97L. Correct me if I'm wrong. We actually got Tropical Depression 10, and we also got another tropical system to watch here coming out that'll be coming out in Africa, a tropical wave. The good news is these storms here have no threat to land. Even this one as well have no threat to land, but that might actually become a hurricane in the near future as well. So we need to watch for that as well. See if anything changes for that system since it's still far out. But we do have good confidence that these here have no threat to land currently. But the main focus on this video today will be Hurricane Ida, which is currently a Category 2 hurricane with 105-mile-per-hour winds, and it's currently in rapid intensification mode. Central pressure wind, central pressure of 969 millibars, and it's dropping like a rock right now. And I'll show you guys the recon data of what the pressure is right now. But let's first check out infrared satellite imagery. Here's Louisiana. Let this load in for a moment. Let that update. I'm going to get a different color out. Get pink. So here's Louisiana right here. There's Mississippi, Alabama, and then the Florida Panhandle and the peninsula as well. And here's Ida. It has had a difficult time of trying to bring up an eye on infrared satellite imagery here. It's been having a pretty tough time there, which is probably limiting intensification just a little bit here. At least the winds are not that strong, but the pressure is dropping like a rock, like I said here. This will be continuing to move to the northwest and eventually should start to take a northern turn into parts of southeastern Louisiana. It'll be there by tomorrow. And we are already seeing outer bands of Ida arriving into southeastern Louisiana. These are not really significant cells, but at least there are multiple rounds of showers out there as well. And this is even popping up on radar scope, and you do see some of those storms out there. You have storms that are moving into parts of southeast of Louisiana. You got storms just off the coast of Pensacola, Destin, Panama City as well, and you can actually see there's the eye of Hurricane Ida right there. And if we check out the winds from velocity, it's actually not that far out. It's actually too far out to see that. But we at least will still have reflectivity to look at that. Unfortunately, velocity is too far out. We'll probably be able to see that better tomorrow. So this will be arriving to parts of Louisiana tomorrow. But watch these bands with thunderstorms. Some of these could try to rotate as well. Maybe not these here by Louisiana, but these ones will have the better chance to rotate since it's on the northeastward side of the storm. Typically, tornadoes could form on the northeastward and the eastward side of the storm. It's where tornadoes could typically form with tropical systems. Let's check out aircraft recon data, and this is where the hurricane hunters are doing here, and driving airplanes into hurricanes and collecting some data. That's what they're doing. And this one here, this is mission number 10. They just got finished with this, but after the last few passes, I think it's about like an hour in between. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but that's roughly maybe about an hour. It's dropping like a rock. I mean, at one point earlier on, it was 974 millibars. They went through it back again. It was 970, and it went back through it again. How low is it now? Okay, it's not one to pop up on there, but it does show a pressure of 967 millibars. Very low pressure in the system here, and it's dropping like a rock here, basically dropping 4 millibars probably about every hour. So this thing is rapidly intensifying. It's over some of that very high ocean heat content, and that's what's happening here with Ida. It's rapidly intensifying over that ocean heat content. Eventually, it'll start to slow down a little bit whenever it leaves out that ocean heat content, but it'll be over it over the next several hours here. So this could get as low as maybe 957 millibars by tomorrow morning. But man, it is dropping like a rock on that storm right now. Let's go back to the National Hurricane Center outlook here, and let's first go to wind speed probabilities. So we'll go to hurricane wind speed probabilities, and you do see here, again, don't be surprised if these percentages do go up. But right now, the highest confidence here for hurricane force winds does include the New Orleans area. And also, I believe Baton Rouge as well could see some hurricane force winds out of the storm as well. But it looks to be the bullseye, looks to be somewhere in this area in here. That may be the better opportunity where you can see some of the worst winds out of this storm. But even for tropical storm winds can cause some major issues. You can see here, tropical storm winds is actually over a much larger area. There's a decent probability for tropical storm winds as far west as the Texas and Louisiana border, as far north as parts of southeastern Arkansas, and as far east as southern Alabama, closer to the Florida and Alabama state line as well. So tropical storm winds will be over a pretty large area, and that's a decent probability. That's at least a 30% chance of getting tropical storm winds as well. But the better opportunity will be the eastern half of Louisiana and southern Mississippi. Those will be the areas that will probably get impacted pretty hard by the storm here, especially with the winds as well. Even tropical storm winds could cause major problems as well. Storm surge will also be a major problem as well. Pretty much the same forecast as last time. The greatest chance for, well, some of the highest storm surge will likely be between Morgan City and the mouth of the Mississippi River, where we do have storm surge as high as 10 to 15 feet. 10 to 15 feet, that is very high. And if you're on those islands there or along the coastline, there's a good chance. The chance of survival of this storm is pretty slim. Of a combination of very strong winds, hurricane force winds, plus storm surge of 10 to 15 feet, the chances of survival along the coastline is very slim with that. But some of the significant storm surge would be like 6 to 9 feet, like Vermilion Bay, Intercoastal City, even 7 to 11 feet is pretty significant storm surge as well, which that is from the mouth of the Mississippi River to Ocean Springs. Even for some of the lakes in southeastern Louisiana can experience some significant storm surge as well. But storm surge could happen as far west as the Texas and Louisiana border and as far east as the Alabama and Florida state line as well. So this could be over a pretty large area as well, but some of the significant impacts will likely be between Intercoastal City and the Mississippi Alabama border. That's where we're looking at to be some of the worst storm surge out there as well. Here's the cone of uncertainty forecast, and they are expecting this to be a major hurricane, be a Category 4 at landfall. And it looks like it'll be making landfall sometime in the afternoon hours tomorrow. So at least it won't be a nighttime landfall, something like that. And it's expected to be downgraded to a hurricane by 1 a.m. on Monday. And then 1 p.m. Monday, it'll be downgraded to a tropical storm. And eventually be dying down to a tropical depression by 1 a.m. on Tuesday. And those times may change over time. But you do see where the storm is going. It'll be making landfall in southeastern Louisiana, going into parts of northeastern Louisiana, western Mississippi, maybe eastern Arkansas, into central Tennessee, into parts of southeastern Kentucky, and eventually it'll be snagging on into a stationary front that'll be up here, and then it'll just be a frontal system, and it'll take it all the way up into parts of the northeast as well. Let's check out that rainfall potential, and there is going to be a lot of rain, and we're talking about a lot. Areas in the pink, that's where you could possibly see 15 to 20 inches of rain, and that just about includes the western part of New Orleans. So a lot of rain's going to be coming. Even for areas in the orange here, could experience a lot of rain as well. 6 to 10 inches of rain, that is still a lot of rain to deal with in about a day. So definitely not good news there. Even 6 to 10 inch values do continue across parts of central Mississippi as well, going up north. And there's also another area up into Kentucky, which we'll check that out in a moment here later in the video. That'd be another area to monitor as well, but also areas in the red. That's where you can experience 10 to 15 inches of rain in areas in the yellow, 4 to 6, and in areas in the dark green, that's where you can experience 2 to 4 inches of rain as well. So yeah, a lot of rain's going to be coming across those regions. Let's check out the HWRF model, and this is on this recent update on 18Z. It does predict it will make landfall sometime in the afternoon hours tomorrow on Sunday. It has pressure of 942 millibars. That's a pretty deep low. But pay attention to the cells in the northeast and eastern side here. These cells could easily rotate here. It possibly could produce a few tornadoes. That's another threat we need to watch for as well. But in the Iowa could be very nasty. Heavy rain, hurricane force winds, actually major hurricane force winds as well, where wind gusts could approach possibly maybe 150 miles an hour, maybe 160 in some places with some of those wind gusts as well. So it's going to be a very powerful system. Finally, starts to go inland, but areas in the New Orleans area need to watch for these eastern cells here. We could see few tornadoes out of that. Those could be subtropical supercells, and that even continues on with those bands here. Even flooding will definitely be a problem out of those storms as well as they train over some of the same areas. And it starts to rapidly die down here. Then at this point here would be a tropical storm here with a pressure of 989 millibars. But even still for a tropical storm, look at all this rain on the northern side here. Definitely some flooding problems in those areas as well. And then you pay attention on the eastward side, where some of these cells here could easily rotate and may produce tornadoes across parts of Mississippi as well. You do see that continuing into the overnight hours, eventually into parts of southwestern Tennessee, into parts of Alabama in northeastern Mississippi as well. You see that continue into the overnight hours, into the early morning hours. The tornado threat may continue to move to the east and northeast into central Tennessee, probably eastern, northeastern Alabama to parts of southwestern Kentucky. And again, a lot of rain on the northern end side of the system could produce some flooding problems as well. It'd be slowly weakening, and then new storms start to form on the northeastern side. Could be a tornado threat with that as well, and also for the chance for some flooding, especially training over some of the same areas. And by Wednesday morning, it'll be going up into the Tennessee-Kentucky state line. Lots of rain on the northern inside. That's another area we need to monitor for the potential for some significant flooding. As you can probably see there, look at those bands of heavy rain here. Then at this point here, the tornado threat's kind of diminished at this point. And really the only threat that kind of lingers here is the flash flooding threat across parts of the lower Ohio Valley region. And eventually they'll start to move up into the northeast here, which will be carried away by a cold front as well. So definitely a lot to be taken into this. Just by looking at the HWRF as well. Let's check out the GFS model here. Let's see what its thoughts are on this. And it does indicate this will make landfall as a major hurricane, 956 millibars, and it rapidly die down. Moves up to northern Mississippi by Monday evening. On the eastward side here, you can see some supercells that could produce tornadoes and also very heavy rainfall. And it's also a little bit of a weaker system as well, a little bit weaker than the HWRF when it gets up to the Tennessee Valley. But then on the northern side, needs to watch for the potential for some flooding problems. You do see that how that wave of heavy rain does continue across parts of Pennsylvania and eventually up to across parts of the New England states as well. So really the remains of Ida, really from the lower Ohio Valley up to the northeast, needs to watch for that possibility for some very heavy rainfall, and flooding some areas could be significant. That some of the National Hurricane Center did mention about some of these areas could have the chance to see some significant flooding as well. We'll check out the European model, and it does indicate it will make landfall probably sometime Sunday afternoon here. If we check out the winds here, likely could be underdone here, but it does have sustained winds of close to 100 miles an hour. But if you check out the wind gusts, it's a different story. It's much stronger with wind gusts close to 140 miles an hour. You can see here then it makes landfall a little bit later, 7 o'clock on Sunday. Sustained winds of Category 2 winds. Actually, no, that's Category 1. But then again, it's likely to be underdone with those winds as well, at least sustained wind-wise. But wind gusts, it's definitely not underdone. But check out these wind gusts, though, especially getting to 2 p.m. on Sunday. I'm at Tuesday. Look across northern Alabama, wind gusts to 55 miles an hour. That could definitely do some damage out there with some of those stronger wind gusts. Then moves up to parts of Kentucky and Tennessee by Wednesday morning. And then rainfalls could be a major problem here out of the system here. Here's rainfall for the next 5 days here. You do see here, southeast Louisiana will take with most of the rain here, where areas could see up to 14 inches of rain, which I think it's a little underdone. I think some places could see over 16 inches of rain. It does expand up to across parts of most of Mississippi could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain. It kind of dies down when it gets into western Tennessee, but things do pick back up in a hurry when it gets into Kentucky, where some places could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain. Moves up to southern Ohio, parts of northern West Virginia, and then you got Pennsylvania, which there could be a swath of 5 to 8 inches of rain. And if you move on to 10 days, kind of moves up to across parts of Connecticut and Massachusetts and Rhode Island, where some places could see up to 5 inches of rain as well. So yeah, pretty widespread area. A lot of rain stuff going to be coming here. Here's the icon model. It shows most of the rainfall sticking around in Pennsylvania, with some places could see up to 8 inches of rain as well. So definitely got to watch areas in the lower Ohio Valley up to the New England states for potential for a lot of rainfall. Check out some of the higher resolution models, and here's the NAM showing some areas across parts of southeast Louisiana could see some very impressive rainfall totals. 26 inches of rain. Now, I do believe this is going to be overdone here with rainfall totals. These models have been overdone with rainfall, but either way, there's going to be a lot of rain coming across those areas as well. And here's the high-risk NAM, a little bit better. Actually, maybe not. Saw 29 there. But probably again overdone, but still, significant rainfall totals across southeast Louisiana is likely, even into across parts of Mississippi as well, maybe into across parts of southern Alabama and the far western part of the panhandle of Florida could see a lot of rain as well. Here's a little bit more detail with the Weather Prediction's outlook here for rainfall. You can see your southeast Louisiana could see anywhere from 10 to upwards of 15 inches of rain. And then you got a large 4 to 8 swath across most of Mississippi. The western half of Alabama could see 2 to 5 inches of rain. And then you got western Tennessee with 4 plus, in central Tennessee as well. If you continue to move up a little further up north, there's a hot spot across parts of western Kentucky and central that could see anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of rain. And then continuing up into the mid-Atlantic, there's some areas that could see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain as well. So yeah, rainfall and flooding is definitely going to be a big problem with this system here, especially later on here as well. When it gets into parts of Kentucky and then beyond, just be mainly just be for the heavy rainfall threat out of the system as well. Here's my strength probabilities. The only major change I had with this outlook here is downgraded probabilities for Category 5. I think the chances are decreasing for Category 5 hurricane, which is some good news, but either way, the catastrophic impacts will still be likely here with Category 4 winds, which is usually between 130 to 156 miles per hour, which is very significant as well. Alright, so for the final part of this video here, we're going to be checking out the Tropical System Impact Index forecast. here's the main outlook here, and really the biggest change here is adding a 2 out of 5 across parts of Kentucky, where models have been uptrending over the last several days here, uh, with higher rainfall totals, where some places could see quite a bit of rain up there as well, being for potential for some significant flooding. But the main story would be across southeast Louisiana and in most of Mississippi, where we could see some pretty bad impacts. There's a level 5 out of 5, wow, 5 out of 5 across parts of southeast Louisiana. That's where you can see Category 4 winds. In the level 4 out of 5, that's where you can see tons of rain, and also for some very strong winds, Category 3 winds are possible. In the level 3 out of 5, you can see hurricane force winds and also a significant amount of rain. And then when you get into the 2 out of 5 zone, that's where you can see tropical storm winds and also a lot of rain, could be 5 to 8 inches. And then at level 1 out of 5, you can see 2 to 5 inches rain, and also for the chance for some tropical depression winds as well. Let's be a little bit more specific here. Here's the wind forecast, and then again that level 5 out of 5 for Category 4 winds. We'll zoom in here actually to be a little bit more detail here. So in the level out of 5 includes uh, let's see, Golden Meadow, Fort Fort Chon, I guess that's what it has pronounced it, Grand Island. And then at level 4 out of 5 that includes Homa, Morgan City, and also for Empire and Broas as well. It but just includes the southwestern part of New Orleans as well in that 4 out of 5. Then that 3 out of 5 includes Baton Rouge, Lafayette, most of the New Orleans area, Bay St. Louis, just barely, Hammond, and Covington as well. And then you got this large area of a 2 out of 5, which includes Jackson, Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Gulfport, Mobile, Alabama as well. We also got 1 out of 5 that includes places like Pensacola, Lake Charles. This is where we can see tropical depression winds, which expands all the way up into southeastern Kentucky as well, where some areas could experience winds of 25 to 30 miles an hour, sustained winds. Here's the rainfall forecast here. We'll zoom in to southeastern Louisiana. So you got 4 out of 5 that includes Golden Meadow, Huma, I guess is how you pronounce it. I do apologize for that. Morgan City, just barely includes the western part of New Orleans, but either way, you guys will experience a significant amount of rain. Level 3 out of 5 includes Baton Rouge, Gulfport. That's where we can see 8 to 16 inches of rain. Oh, yeah, by the way, in that red zone, that's where we can see 16 plus inches of rain. Then that level 2 out of 5, that's where we can experience 5 to 8 inches of rain, which includes Lafayette, Jackson, Mississippi, and Mobile, Alabama as well. It goes as far north as near Tupelo as well. And then we got another level 2 out of 5 where some places could see 5 plus inches of rain, which includes Louisville, Lexington, Elizabethtown, and Bowling Green as well. And then you got that 1 out of 5, which includes Birmingham, Montgomery, Memphis, Nashville, Charleston, West Virginia, Evansville, and Cincinnati as well, where some places could see over 2 inches of rain as well. And here's the tornado risk area as well. The SPC does have a slight risk area across parts of southeast Louisiana and southern Mississippi. They do have some wording where they could upgrade that to a 10% chance for tornadoes, which is a 3 out of 5 on the scale. So we need to pay attention to that as well. So don't forget about the risk of tornadoes out there as well. Even the areas in the 1 out of 5 could have that risk for tornadoes as well, which includes most of Mississippi, southwestern Alabama, and even includes the Florida Panhandle as well as far east as Tallahassee as well, within that margin risk there for tornadoes. But anyways, guys, this is our review guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, put in the comment section down below. I heard you guys questions. And oh yeah, please be safe if you're in southeast Louisiana going to ride out the storm. Please be very careful with this storm here. Do not go outside. If you're going to ride out the storm, good luck to you. Even for areas across southern Mississippi, good luck to you guys. As though hopefully you guys could be alright riding out for the storm. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.